Hello everyone, I'm going to show you how to take off your door handle to either change the gasket that's worn, like on this one, to remove the handle trim, or to take off and replace the lock, or if you have something going wrong with it, I'm going to show you how to take it off the door. So this door is not on the car anymore, but that's not a problem because the work is going to be exactly the same. So first you're going to have to take off your interior door panel, and then when you'll have a sort of foam thing also all over here stuck on this black glue, and once you've taken that off you'll have access to your door handle and lock. So here's the wiring for the central locking, and it's pretty simple to do, but it's pretty hard to guess if you don't know. First thing you're going to do is come to the side of the door and remove this little cap. You'll need a blade or something to take it out because it fits real tight in here, like that. So you take off this center piece, and then we have access to one specific part of the door handle part, or the whole big part. You'll see. I'm going to try and show you with a light. So can you see this metal part that's shining under the light? So that's a tab that you're going to have to push with a flat head screwdriver fairly firmly towards the front of the door, and that's going to release half of the door handle. So I won't be able to show you and film and push at the same time, but you see the part, that's the one you need to push forward, and you'll see it better when I take it out. So here it goes. Alright, I think I've pushed it fully. With this first step you're already going to see the trim sort of coming loose, but we still have to do a few things to get it off. So the inside part of the door trim is held by, well, it just fits in with this little plastic bit, so if you push that out it should make the trim come out. There's the same one on the other side, but it's a bit more difficult to see, so I'm just going to push a bit on this one and it should come out from the front. Yeah, so I just pushed on that one and it came out really easily. So as you can see, this gasket is completely destroyed. It's dry. It's all going into pieces. So if you need to change that, that would be the only steps to do. So you just take it off like that. Put the new one on and give this a clean and put it back on. So now we still have the handle and the lock. To take that off we'll need to remove this sort of locking pin and this ring which is screwed around the lock. For this ring I'll just use a flathead screwdriver and just hit it a bit with my hand. Don't need any heavy machinery to do this, just making it spin, so you can take it off quite easily. There is, I think, a little washer somewhere. Yeah, at the back there's it's still in there. Well, make sure you don't lose that one. Maybe replace it so that your lock is waterproof. Now for this pin, it's locked from inside by this piece. I don't know if there's a specific way to take it off, but on the other door handle I just lifted this little tab, and when the tab has been folded back, I'm going to put my small screwdriver at the bottom part like this, try and get it in as much as I can, and then bring that piece back down like that. And that should release that pin that we're going to be able to pull out from the front. Like so. So basically it was, when you're going to put it back in, you're going to put this back on, pull the handle right against the metal, and then slide this back in like that, and put that tab in place. Well, use some pliers to push it firmly in, and there we have it. Alright, so back on the inside of the door, we can see that it moves pretty much freely. There's still a few things blocking it from taking it out. There's the door latch mechanism here, which is connected by a small, so it's the same thing as this one, but a smaller one down here that you probably can't really see, but it's connected to the door handle. So as we don't have a good view of what's going on in there, it's probably easier to just take off these screws. And this one, which is basically just the window rail guide, and then we'll be able to take back the latch mechanism and the door handle and just unscrew this so that it goes through this gap easily, and then we should be able to take it out. Also, I'm going to unplug this already. So there might be a simpler way to do this, but as I said, you can't really see well in there, so maybe just as quick to take it out, especially if you're not sure to be able to bring it back in. To connect the little metal stick in between the latch and the handle. So anyway, as I'm removing the whole thing, I'll just show you how I go on about it, and you'll see what it looks like. So now they're off. I should be able to just comes down quite easily, but there's still the window guiding rail, which is making it impossible to just take it like that. So it's just a matter of one screw, and the other part is just has a metal tab sticking into the door, so I'll show you as I take it off. I didn't tell you, but for the latch screws you'll need a Torx T30 piece, and for this screw you'll need a 10mm socket. Once you took out the screw, guiding rail just comes down, and this is the part I was telling you that goes into the door. So you pretty much can't get this wrong when you put it back in. Just go up first and then screw it back on. And now finally everything should come out. So what we're gonna have to do is bring inside the door all the door handle part, make sure it isn't blocked outside, slide it this way towards the front of the door, and just make your way with everything that might be getting in the way of all this mechanism. I'll unplug this as well, it's probably easiest. You're gonna have to push this first part down like that, and then it will come out. Yeah, it's a sort of sliding locking mechanism. Still this wire going into some guide. It is a fairly big piece with a lot of weird shapes. So yeah, it's not just an unbolting, take it off action. You have to make your way through with all this, but once you get it out, you will manage to get it out. And this is what it looks like. And this is the thing I was talking to you about, that was connecting the door to the latch, the door handle to the latch. And yeah, so it's pretty complicated to do this action without any visibility in there. So I still think it's the easiest way to take off all this part. And it could be a good opportunity also to clean it up nicely, put a bit of grease anywhere that needs to be greased, so that it keeps working well. So when you'll put this back in, make sure you connect it back together. I think it's the simplest part. And then bring this all the way into the door, bolt it on, and bring the handle in its position the same way you took it out. And I'll be able to show you the tab we were pushing on at the start, this one, that we could only see this part. It's actually all this. See? That's what locked the handle in place, or part of it. The trim, the door handle trim. When you're going to put the door handle back on, as I'm not going to do this because I'm going to sell these parts, what you're going to have to do is make it go in between this metal part, which is I think the bottom part of the window fixing, and the door. So you put it like this and you make it, and you slide it. You have to slide it into position. You do have to fiddle a bit around with it, but that's the only way you're going to get it back in. And you see when the handle goes and it's in this hole, then you'll be able to slide it back. And also it's much easier with two hands when you don't have to film yourself doing that. Yeah, like that. You'll push it back. All the way back until it's aligned and that the lock is in front of its hole. But yeah, you'll have to make sure you get it behind this piece. Yeah, so I know this wasn't a professional video, but I hope it helped you out. If you want to do this job yourself, basically anyone can do that. You just need a bit of time in front of you. So do this maybe a weekend or on another car that you won't need in case you really get into trouble. But it's just a matter of doing the opposite of what you did to take it out, and you should be fine. So I hope it showed you a bit how to proceed for that. and I'll see you next time in another video. Alright, cheers.